Welcome to today's video, Psalm 18 verse 2 explained. The Lord is my rock, and my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler, and the horn of my salvation, and my high tower. This verse from the book of Psalms is a beautiful expression of David's personal relationship with God. David, the author of this psalm, is declaring his trust and confidence in the Lord during a time of great trouble. Each word and title used in this verse gives us insight into how God protects, supports, and rescues his people. First, David calls the Lord his rock. In ancient times, rocks were symbols of stability, security, and unshakable strength. A rock is not easily moved, and it provides a firm foundation. David sees God as the unmovable source of safety in his life, someone he can always rely on, especially when everything else is uncertain or dangerous. He also refers to God as his fortress. A fortress is a place of defense, a stronghold that enemies cannot easily penetrate. In the times of David, people would flee to fortresses for safety during attacks. David is saying that God is his safe place, the one who protects him from all harm. David then describes God as his deliverer. This means God is the one who rescues him from danger, saves him from trouble, and provides a way out when situations seem impossible. David experienced many moments where he was threatened by enemies, but God consistently delivered him. David adds that God is his strength. He recognizes that his own abilities are not enough to overcome every challenge. Instead, he draws his strength from God, who empowers him to stand firm and keep going, even when he feels weak or overwhelmed. The phrase "in whom I will trust" is central to this verse. Trust is a deep confidence and reliance on someone's character and promises. David's faith is not based on his circumstances but on who God is. He puts his trust in God's faithfulness, knowing that God will never let him down. David also calls God his buckler, which means shield. A shield is used to block attacks and keep the warrior safe in battle. God acts as a personal protector for David, covering him from harm and danger. With God as his shield, David is confident that nothing can truly hurt him. The horn of my salvation is another powerful image. In biblical times, a horn symbolized power, victory, and authority. David is saying that God gives him strength and brings about his salvation. God is the one who lifts him up and gives him victory over his enemies. Finally, David calls God his high tower. In ancient warfare, a high tower was a place where people could see danger coming from far away and be out of reach of attackers. God is that place of refuge and security, set above all threats. From this high position, David feels safe and protected. This verse is a reminder for every believer that God is not distant or uncaring. He is actively involved in our lives as our foundation, our place of safety, our rescuer, our source of strength, our protector, our victory, and our refuge. When life feels overwhelming or dangerous, we can turn to God just as David did and trust him completely.